Ethan Sachs and Luca Pizzari find a squad of suicidal assassins to do the Squadron Supreme's dirty work as Electra and her team are sent to stop a mysterious villain from destroying all of time and space. Ethan Sachs channels the Suicide Squad in this violent, rather fun, action-packed adventure that reinterprets many classic Marvel characters and uses the Suicide Squad premise in a great, surprising way. As here, instead of bombs in the head, it's mind-wiping and behavior modification, something I think is worse than bombs in the head, because at least they can be taken out. The makeup of the team is a lot of fun as well, and I enjoy that it's a mix of heroes and villains being used. We've got a Crossbones and a Punisher both taking the role of Deadshot, and it was pretty great to see since there's like a split in the character that would be Deadshot, with one acting out the more remorseless killer side of Floyd, while Frank takes the more fatherly, sort of got a family kind of apologetic side of Floyd that we've seen in the more recent comics. Kang also being the villain was really great and something you wouldn't expect in a comic like this, with this squad going up against a villain who is, usually an Avengers level villain. So it was great to see him be used here, and I like that while he is a villain in this book, because this is the Heroes Reborn universe and everything's kind of the opposite of what it should be, Kang is technically the hero since he wants to turn the world back into the normal 616 universe, with our heroes, who are actually the villains, trying to stop him from doing that, all thanks to a large shell game played by Mephisto through Wilson Fisk and many other players. It's actually quite awesome. Luca Pizzari delivers some really great looking artwork and redesigns for familiar characters, villains and heroes, not straying too far from their classic costumes, except with like Frank, who gets the most redesign since his is just like a suit without the Punisher skull, since he technically isn't that Punisher that we know. He still is called the Punisher, but he doesn't use the skull or anything because he has no need for it. Heroes Reborn, Squadron Savage issue 1 was a great action-packed issue that put a Suicide Squad pastiche on everything, and it led to a great exploration of old characters seen in a new light, and a fantastic yet sad ending for the heroes. I'm going to give this issue a 9.5 out of 10. Heroes Reborn, Squadron Savage issue 1 heads to Westchester, where Frank Castle plays with his kids in the park, taking up his son's challenge of throwing a football really far. His wife wonders which of them is the bigger kid as the kid catches the ball. Soon a chopper lands on the park and Electra disembarks, but Frank tells her that he is retired now and he won't pull the trigger ever again. But Electra says that no one can kill like Frank Castle and the mission is bigger than this paradise. Frank tells her to get the Squadron Supreme to do this, but she says that this is a job that requires a different type of squadron and their target could potentially rewrite reality, and his reality is worth fighting for. Frank is given his old armor, telling Electra that he's in, as later Electra plays chess, knowing that she has found her knight. The other being says that she has one chance of pulling off this assassination since this is an existence level threat and time is not on their side. The man says that they trace their target to a compound in the People's Republic of Chernia, where he teleports in and out at regular intervals. He says that President Coulson can't send in the squadron since they'll cause an international incident, but Electra tells the Defense Secretariat not to worry since she only has a few moves left. Heading to Russia with Cloak, Electra tells Tyrone to have patience since they will find who killed Dagger and he will get his revenge, but first they need to do some shopping. Electra is met by Alexander Lukin, knowing the man can afford her intrusion. Lukin shows her the bullet that she requested, the latest Stark Tech round that can pierce through even vibranium. Electra notices a man in a stasis tank nearby, learning that it was someone left over from General Karpov, and it was apparently very useful during the Cold War before Hyperion ended it. Electra says that she will take it, as later she wonders if the Defense Secretary has doubts that she can do this. The man says he has concerns about who is on her team as Crossbone blows through a bunch of paper targets, obliterating the terrorist and the hostage depicted on it, saying that the hostage could have easily just been a child-sized scroll. Elsewhere, Murder Hornet is forcibly strapped into a chair where doctors plan on putting her through behavioral modification. Electra reassures her contact that she has found a way to help these people see the light. She checkmates the man, telling him that her aggressive strategy paid off since she's willing to sacrifice any and all pieces. Later on, Electra and her squad infiltrate the People's Republic of Chernia, sneaking into a rundown facility which Electra tells Crossbones contains a large base underground. She tells Murder Hornet to take down Remnant, the base's magical sentry. Murder Hornet has one of her Hornets sting the man, allowing the huge horde she controls to hone in on the man and attack, but he manages to beat them all back, celebrating his win. Suddenly he is shot off his magic carpet and through the head by Punisher, who thanks Hornet for the distraction. Crossbone finds the shot very impressive, and Frank is really underselling himself, saying it's an honor to watch him blow Dirtbag's brains out. Frank finds it no honor at all, thinking that he could have just made some kid an orphan, wondering why he's even having a talk with a bloodthirsty killer like Crossbones. Crossbones says that Frank is the best of the killers, remembering when they were enemies, but still he respected Frank's knack for covering a canvas in blood. Frank says that's not who he is anymore, but Crossbones knows that that's all he ever will be, and he just forgets sometimes. Cloak meanwhile looks into Remnant's dead mind, seeing Tandy being taken by the villains. Electra comes to see if Tyrone is okay, but the man says that he will be, as Punisher threatens Crossbones, telling the man he's nothing like him. Crossbones smashes Frank in the face as Electra tells Frank to stand down. Crossbones knows that if he is pushed again, he'll show Frank everything he learned from the Punisher. Hornet joins in, but Electra is quick to stop the bickering since they'll blow the element of surprise. Inside the base, the Redeemers catch a glitch in their advanced security systems, knowing it shouldn't be glitching. Thermite wants to check it out before their boss returns, but Haywire says that Remnant is still patrolling thanks to seeing his magic carpet in the sky. Their master contacts them, saying that Remnant is already dead and they are to send out sentry bots. Haywire thinks that the Squadron Supreme is there and they will deal with it, but the Bee knows it's not them, since if Hyperion was there, they would already be defeated, knowing this is something else. Elsewhere, Crossbones cuts the team a hole into the base, as Cloak wonders why he couldn't just teleport them in. Electra wonders where to though, since they need to find a terminal. Tyrone knows that they are letting Dagger's killers escape, but Electra knows that finding a terminal quick will help in this. Finding a computer, Hornet gets to work on hacking into it as Frank hears something that sounded like trouble, and soon he spots a group of sentry bots coming for them. The team is forced to defend the terminal while Hornet finds the schematic they need inside the computer. Hornet keeps the drones off of her as well, as she tells Electra that this is the type of hacking that takes time. Crossbones tells her to take her time since he's enjoying himself, throwing a drone through Cloak, destroying it instantly. Hornet soon finds what they are looking for, finding it is the base's power that is being rerouted into a certain area, making her think that that's the command center. Electra knows that it's as good a lead as they have, having Cloak take them there into the command center where they are confronted by the Redeemers. Haywire attacks Crossbones, covering him in his wires as Crossbones yanks the villain towards him, smashing him in the head. Hornet wonders why they are wasting their time on these minions, as Mink calls Electra a fascist, and that they are the good guys since they are the ones fighting to break free from the police state. Electra knows that whatever reasons they have, they should have known that they have sided with a madman who is plotting to destroy all life. Mink knows that he's the one who will stop the real villains, the Squadron Supreme. Electra knows that if the Squadron were there, then they would bring the villains to justice, but she's just more savage. She kills Mink as Moonglow unleashes her light-based powers. Cloak knows his dark force absorbs light, something the woman knows as she is revealed to be Tandy, shocking Tyrone, who says he saw her die while fighting the Redeemers. Moonglow says that Tyrone has been brainwashed by a behavior modification machine to believe a lie, and she is sorry that she failed him that day and she should have killed him, but she wouldn't make the mistake again. Tyrone says that it's still him, but he understands the importance of the Squadron's cause now, and Tandy will soon see since Electra will show her the way. Tandy refuses to go, unleashing her bright light as Electra tells the team not to look since the light uses hypnotic patterns. Punisher looks, however, beginning to remember as Crossbones shoots and wounds Tandy, knowing now Cloak is down and Punisher has forgotten he's a killing machine. Frank remembers his kids aren't alive as Foxfire defends Tandy, knowing that she can hold Crossbones back with one hand. hand. She shatters her armor with her decay powers, and before Brock can shoot her, Frank kills him, saying that he was right and he is an artist. Electra tells Frank that she's his friend and they need to kill the target before everyone else is erased from existence, but Frank knows that everyone he cares about is dead, caught in a crossfire between the Circus of Crime and the Squadron Supreme of America, and they cut up his memories of it. He fires on Electra and wounds her, but she is faster, stabbing him in the stomach as Thermite finds that cold, even for his standards, as he battles Hornet, who invades his regulator in his armor, blowing him up, taking out the entire room with him. Soon Electra hears some clapping as Kang the Conqueror, their target, appears, saying that they gave a decent showing, but they are an annoyance to him and that he would have stayed in his own century had this team been a real danger to his plans. Electra attacks, but Kang merely dodges, slapping her out of the way as he tells her that he never cared for the army she took out and that he would have discarded them after their use anyway. He knows that they were believers trying to escape the rigid order imposed by the Squadron Supreme, and he can see the timeline is in need of correction. He destroys Electra's size, saying the Redeemers helped lay the groundwork for his invasion forces to reset the world to what it should be. He demands to know why Electra is smiling, so the woman says that she was willing to sacrifice her own team as well, and they came there with 6 of them to lure him close so that he would lower his force field shields. Kang is confused since there are only 5 of them as Cloak unleashes the Winter Soldier from inside his void, as Kang knows that this isn't supposed to happen. Winter Soldier shoots Kang with the bullet that Electra got from Lucan, killing the villain, but not before he gets a shot off of his own, killing Bucky in the process. As the battle ends, Electra briefly comes out of her behavior modification machine before being met by Wilson Fisk, the Secretary of Defense, who knows that her gambit was quite ingenious. She knows that her mind was wiped as well, as Fisk doesn't deny it, since she is his favorite assassin, and she even managed to snare some new recruits for his team, in that of Foxfire and Moonglow, and maybe even Frank Castle if he survives the surgery. Electra tearfully knows that she won't remember any of this, and Wilson says that the board must be reset, but she need not be conflicted since she and the others were villains, given the gift of redemption if she wanted it or not, so it's not so bad being a pawn of such an important game.